What is up, guys? I Grover Spilt Milk here. So, this weekend, February the 1st, I went to the city of Ely in East Cambridgeshire, home of a cathedral, an escape room, and a house that Oliver Cromwell once lived in. More of him in a bit. However, this video's sponsor, Kirkley Newsagent, is not found in Ely. You'll find it in the parish of Kirkley in Lowestoft, proud stockists of tobacco products, postage stamps, and newspapers and magazines. We went to the home of Ely thief collector Oliver Cromwell. You might know him better as Lord Protector of Great Britain, a title of at least equal to that of King, from 1653 to 1658. Before he became Lord Protector, Oliver himself was born into a modest landed gentry family. As some of his relatives died, his branch of the family come to inherit concessions, in particular, in 1636, this house in Ely, and with it the position of thief collector for the nearby Ely Cathedral, and that came from his maternal uncle. He then became MP for Cambridge, although he had little impact, as King Charles I often dissolved parliaments, as he decided to rule under the divine right doctrine, which he believed his rule was only questionable to God. In 1642, the country descended into civil war. The king fought against Parliament, which Cromwell ended up as a high-ranking officer. After the parliamentarians won the war, in 1649, the king was found guilty of treason against his people, and he was beheaded, leaving a power vacuum as the king's heir was exiled. Parliament started to factionalize with many different cliques, and eventually Cromwell was made Lord Protector in 1653, king, in all but title. In fact, Cromwell was offered the crown of England, but he declined. Oliver Cromwell died in 1658, and his son, Richard, succeeded him. By this time, the people of Britain had had enough of Cromwell and his strict Puritan rule, which Richard, being a weak ruler, it was only due to Oliver himself keeping everyone and the Commonwealth together. It soon fell apart after he died. When Richard was overthrown as Lord Protector and King Charles I's son, Charles, was invited back as Charles II, and the House of Stuarts was restored to the throne in 1660. Charles himself was known as the Merry Monarch, returning to the nation to how it was before the strict rule of Cromwell. In the end, Cromwell's 3-year-old dead body was put on trial and found guilty of treason and regicide, and was beheaded. As such, was Cromwell a hero or a villain? For me, it's hard to say. I suppose it's more down to whether you stand to gain anything as a common person with Cromwell in charge. If you already lived a comfortable life, you would more likely side with the king, eager to win the war and go back to your nice life. You might even be rewarded by the king, but if you have nothing to start with, and thus you've got nothing to lose and all to gain, you might as well throw your lot in with Cromwell. For me, Cromwell went too far and was tyrannical, ruling strictly. Beheading the king and committing regicide was just one step too far for me. But then again, Charles would have refused to compromise, believing it was his God-given right to rule as he see fit and without judgment or reprisal. So one could argue Cromwell had no choice but to execute the king, and as a way to not have any threat to his rule, for a period of peace. With Charles's children too young at the time, he didn't have to worry about them being a threat to him. I would say, for his tyrannical rule, I would say Cromwell was a villain. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe.